Yes, people, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Some transfer news for you, as always, this afternoon. Another day, another rumour. Well, this one, to be fair, has been floating around, especially this summer, with the target being the right wing. Obviously, Newcastle had their eye on Michael Olise. He chose to go over to Germany. Bayern Munich have got him for an absolute snip at what looks to be around 50 to 55 million. What a deal that is. It was reported that his release clause was 60 million from Palace. It's even less than that for the young star. So he's on his way to Bayern Munich anyways. They're just, taking the mick. They've got Musiala, Olise, Kane, Sane. It's not fair. But yeah, they still didn't win the German League. Probably will next year with that addition of Olise. But Xabi Alonso's Invincibles will be hard to beat. But anyways, he went to Germany. Game over. Move on. Thankfully, as I reported yesterday, Newcastle have moved on from the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But who have they moved on to for that right wing position? We obviously know we have got a right winger there in Yankuba Minteh, who lit up the Eredivisie last year and loaned to Feyenoord. Talk about his future in just a minute, because let's get into it. Chukwuemeka Tristan Madueke, or Noni Madueke for short, just to make things a bit easier for everyone. That is who Newcastle are now looking at for the right wing position, according to The Athletic. To be fair, in this report, they did list about 4 other players. One of them, Somerville from Leeds. The other, Jared Bowen. The other one, can't remember. There was that many. I forgot now. But yeah, there's quite a few, to be honest. I'm still talking about Mbeumo. He wasn't in the article, I don't think. But Mbeumo is the man, I'm telling you. Brian, not True Geordie. Brian Mbeumo from Brentford. Anyways, I'll maybe talk about him later or in the podcast tomorrow night. But this article is saying that Newcastle United are on the verge of talking to Chelsea for a deal. They are planning, if not already, making a formal approach for the winger. So they know that Chelsea are still in the market for a right winger. Obviously, they were deep in negotiations with Olise to try and bring him from Selhurst Park to Stamford Bridge. He obviously chose Germany instead. Chelsea, to be fair, for the first time I can ever remember, for the first time in recent history, they did not pay the demands. They actually stopped themselves from just splashing loads of cash. I mean, for once in their life, Can't believe it. Can't believe what I'm saying. So they didn't reach Olise's demands of £220,000 a week. I'm sure the transfer fee wouldn't have been an issue, but the wages of Olise, Chelsea are now taking a bit of a backwards step, a different approach to things in the market from the Roman Abramovich days of just paying whatever you want. Even the Todd Boehly days when he came in, to paying whatever you want. They're obviously getting hit a little bit by PSR. That's why they might do this deal. That's why they're having to shift other things, like sell their own hotels and all that dodgy business that they've been doing to get around loopholes with financial fair play. So Chelsea, still though, want a right winger. They've got Madueke there, who did struggle for game time a little bit last year due to Cole Palmer's unbelievable form. Right wing is where Palmer's been, but Chelsea are eyeing him up to maybe go to the number 10, is what reports are suggesting. So that's why they want another winger. So I'm worried in a sense why they don't just think, right, well, Madueke's time to shine now. Let's give an opportunity. Let's give Madueke that chance. Because Chelsea did pay £29 million for Madueke back in 2023. So they did put a big investment into him, giving him a 7.5-year contract. Remember, they signed him in the January, so they've gave him that massive long-term deal. Deal for life, bag for life, Tesco special, given to Madueke and everyone else that signed at the start of that Todd Boehly era, because that was the loophole. By giving them long-term contracts, they managed to skip around some of the financial fair play because it falls into different years of dealings of business and whatnot. So that was their way around it at the time. Now that's kind of been stamped out by the Premier League. They've put an end to those type of deals, thanks to Chelsea. That loophole's pretty much been closed now. So another reason why they're doing things differently. But Madueke to Newcastle then. So Eddie Howe likes him. Of course he does. He's English. Loves him. English winger. I mentioned there the long name of Madueke. He was born in Barnet. He has played for England at all youth levels. He was part of that team alongside Anthony Gordon, James Trafford, all the rest of them that won that trophy for the under-21s, where they went throughout the tournament without conceding a goal and beat Spain in the final. We know how well Gordon did in that one. Madueke shined in that as well. He does love a goal, loves an assist. Goals and assists weren't great last season, but I mentioned struggled for game time a bit, in and out the team, mainly as a substitute. I think it was 23 games last season for Chelsea for Noni Madueke, 5 goals and 8 assists, or it might be the other way around, something like that. Half a dozen for both, pretty much, all right? And that was, like I said, predominantly off the bench. So he's shown in spells there what he can do. I remember he scored an absolute screamer against Fulham from outside the box. What a goal that was. You know, you look at him and you think, Alan St. Maximin, flashy headband, all of that. Trickery, pace, skill on the wing. But he has got a goal in him. Like I said, you know, especially for PSV, especially for England youth levels. He's been on the verge of a call-up now for a while for England, so that'll probably come in the near future. And you can see the pattern of play here with the signings from Newcastle United. Lewis Hall, Tino Livramento, trying to get James Trafford, as well as, of course, Anthony Gordon, who has already managed to do that. Well, he's at the Euros. He's played a couple of games in friendlies. Gareth doesn't want to play him. Wish he bloody will. Big game tonight against Slovenia. Gareth, just play the best left wing in the league. You've got him there. Anthony Gordon, that'd be great. So Newcastle are doing it. Do you know what I mean? You could have Anthony Gordon on the left, clearly is for England, just about. Right wing, you could have Madueke, played for England all his life at youth levels, on the verge of a call-up. The fullbacks, we could have the English fullbacks and Lewis Hall, Tino Livramento. They should be there now, to be honest, especially Lewis Hall at left back. You know what I mean? Luke Shaw's not even fit enough to be on the bench. Trippier's playing there out of position. Tino is unreal. Like I said, James Trafford, who is very highly rated in the England setup there at St George's Park. He was the 4th choice keeper under Southgate, didn't quite make that play into Germany. Not that it would have made a difference because Pickford's just going to play every game anyways. So, you know, you can see, as I said, the way that Newcastle United are looking. Eddie Howe, the scouts, that young England setup. Because for one, unfortunately, due to PSR, it does give you huge sell-on fees with the old English tax. But more so, it's the bags of potential and then getting them in the England level. And if you can keep them at the club, and that's an absolute winner. Because, you know, the amount of people that are watching England now at the Euros and the World Cups and around the world and the, you know, the attention that comes with that. They think, oh, who does he play for? Oh, he plays for Newcastle, man. Who's Newcastle? Oh, that's Newcastle. You know, I mean, it brings in that audience and that fan base as well. But listen, Madueke, I'm a fan of him. I think he's a very good player. And again, Newcastle's approach to things, the potential is there. The sky's the limit. Everyone knows how good he could be. Great he could be, really, because he is good already. You know, you get 29 million move to Chelsea, scored a few goals, got a few assists, can't get in the team, really, because of Palmer's unbelievable form. So you can't blame him for that. And when he has came on, he's done well. He looked alright against us in the Cup. Like I said, he's great at taking players on. He plays on that right wing, but he can really use his left foot very well. He can do the same on the other flank. He's played on both wings for England and PSV in the past. Like I said, he had a great spell at PSV Eindhoven in the Dutch league there. That got him loads of attention. He was linked with everyone. And it was Chelsea that stumped up the cash for him. I really like how he had the bravery to go abroad as well and play there. You know, he came up the ranks. He was at Palace as a young kid. Then he went to Tottenham Hotspur. And then what I love about him, Madueke, got the winner for me, turned down Man U before going to PSV. So he thought to himself, no, I'm not going to go to Man U, sit on the bench. Man U are on the down, you know what I mean, spiral. So I'm going to go over to Holland, play some football, show what I can do, get a move back to the Prem. And it's worked out a treat for him until he can't get many minutes. But if we give him the chance, listen, like I said, Chelsea paid nearly 30 million for him. So I reckon they'd want their money back at least. So I think maybe a 30 million, 35 could get him, which I think's a decent deal. Like I said, a 22-year-old English kid. You know, that could really pay dividends in the future. Listen, we paid 40 for Gordon, and Madueke got more assists and goals last season than Gordon did in his time at Everton before he joined us in one season. Maybe even a couple together, because we know his record wasn't great, Anthony Gordon, at all. And look what Eddie Howe's done to him and the double figures he's got. So I think this is the perfect signing for Eddie Howe. And unlike the Calvert-Lewin one and a couple of other ones last week where you're scratching your head and thinking, why the hell are we trying to sign them? This one makes sense to me. Young English kid, kind of Premier League proven. Like I said, he needs to do it regularly, more consistently for a 90-minute game. But off the bench, in spells, in moments, he's definitely shown it. And his goal scoring and assist isn't bad at all. So on that right wing, I'd much prefer him over what I've got at the minute. Put it that way, than Almiron. He'd be a lot more dangerous, bags of potential, going forward, develop him, and he could be an absolute star. So I like that signing. Question marks have been raised over his attitude. Again, remember all that crap was said about Anthony Gordon. Now everyone's bigging him up, saying he's the cleverest, most switched on, polite player in the world. You know, after his Gary Neville overlap thing, he meditates and he's switched on and he's really polite, isn't he? Yeah, sound nice lad. So you never know what the crack is with Madueke, really. But he obviously had that thing with the Chelsea players when they were fainting over the penalty and everything. But listen, that's a dressing room thing. I'm sure he's alright. I like him. I think he can offer a lot. and he could be a really, really top-class player for Newcastle. Let's see what the fee is, and let's see what wages he gets as well, by the way, because his wages will sure enough be mental at Chelsea, so he'd have to take a pay cut there. Let's remember the Calvert-Lewin deal collapsed because Calvert-Lewin is on about 160, 70 grand a week at Everton. We want him to come way down to about 100, 110 for that. Everton wanted 37 million for him. Never going to happen. 1 year left on his deal, and he hasn't been that great for a while now with injuries. So with the Madueke thing, he's going to have to take a pay cut. But can we get Chelsea around that 30, 35 million mark? It looks good to me, but there's plenty of other options out there. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, The Athletic in this article are reporting it's that Somerville from Leeds. He's up for grabs now. Liverpool are linked with him as well. He has looked decent, but I'm not huge on him. Like I said, Jarrod Bowen from West Ham, he would cost a lot of money. And then you've got the likes of Chiesa and that as well. So, who played last night for Italy, who I thought made a real difference off the bench. Maybe got the assist, I think. But he looked really good. Like, looked at a threat. I've always liked Chiesa. So yeah, plenty of options for Newcastle on that right wing. The one option they're not considering though is Yankuba Minteh. He will be sold 100% in the next coming days, according to Fabrizio Romano. We know 30th of June is that deadline for PSR. Speaking of deadlines, just quickly, Bruno's contract release clause expired last night. 100 million, no more. It's in our hands now. If Bruno wants to go, or someone wants Bruno, they have to pay big bucks, even bigger than £100 million. So that's good news that his release clause expired last night. He's now completely in our hands to decide what we do and what fee we demand if a Man City, Real Madrid, anyone else came in from later this summer window. He also played the full 90 last night for Brazil in their Copa America opening game, which they drew noughts each. On the topic of Minteh though, apparently he has agreed personal terms with a mystery club, Scooby-Doo FC. No one knows who it is. Get your guesses in the comments. It's looking like it is probably Olympique Lyon of France, because them are thoroughly interested in the Gambian winger. They said they are happy to pay Newcastle's close to 40 million valuation. I tell you what, I kind of be in a huff with this. As much as I want to keep Minteh, I kind of turned down 40 million for a bloke that hasn't played 1 second for Newcastle United. Yes, he's played well in Holland. Yes, he's highly rated. Yes, it could come back to a bite with the arse and he could be amazing. But on the other hand, he may just be Harry. He may just be a good player. And you get 40 million for him. Crazy money that, like. So I thought, and the Athletic also reported it's probably close at 25. There's still news outlets reporting it could be around 40 million. And Lyon are happy to pay that. And they're close to agreeing terms as well with the player. If that's them, it could be someone else that he's agreed terms with. Let's remember, Minteh wanted Everton. Minteh wanted Merseyside. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I thought it was a wind-up. It could be Dortmund as well. Obviously, Sahin, the new Dortmund boss, wants him. He's been linked with Roma. Surely you'd choose all those places over Everton. But fair play to Minteh. He wanted to test himself in the Premier League. The biggest league in the world where all the eyes are. So, yeah, fair play to him. But now he's not going to Everton. Another team have agreed terms with him. Let's wait and see who that is. But he is going to be sold this week, according to Fabrizio Romano. More on him probably in tomorrow night's podcast as well. Cheers for watching, people. Enjoy the England game tonight. We'll be there tomorrow night, 7 p.m. for the live podcast. So stay subscribed, stay tuned in, and enjoy yourself.